had a question from yesterday evening. You were talking about the practices. Now, doing those practices bring happiness, meaning happiness just resides there within us, or we do those practices and cultivate happiness?
By doing that practice, also drive happiness, right away then, and at the same time create a causes for future happiness. Yeah, because those virtuous practices, once your mind is kind of assigned to engage in it, that itself brings tranquility in your heart. So and like that.
So, would you say cultivating compassion is more important, or should be given more focus than other practices to cultivate happiness?
Cultivate compassion, I think, definitely more meaning, more reasons, because cultivating compassion itself will bring happiness. And here I think happiness is referring to happiness, and creating cause of happiness is being your mind in virtues. So the virtues are like compassion, kindness, love, all those are the virtues. So as long as you be in those mind, naturally, there's a mental sensation, the blissful or sense of peaceful, the inner kind of tranquility, it just arises without any choice. Like similar to when we cultivate anger. Just the anger, just one moment, one slight anger arises in your mind. It's just without any choice bring inconvenience in your heart, like disturbance in your heart. Similar, when you cultivate one moment, slight degree of compassion in your heart, then naturally drive a sense of joy and sense of blissfulness. And if you don't feel that blissfulness, then you even reinforce, you strengthen your mind of compassion. The more the obvious of compassion, more the strong the mind of compassion, the more the obvious of experience of bliss and happiness in your heart. Like similar with anger. If you want to feel more pain, to generate more anger. Strengthen the anger. The stronger the anger goes, the disturbing emotion, the uneasiness, the disturbance increases. So it works exactly the same.
So in saying that, does that imply that Buddha nature is already there within us?
So the Buddha nature is already within us. So now, so just we had some discussion in the Sangha tea gathering. What we are trying to do now is, especially to the beginner like myself, is at least to have a wisdom understanding that to have an understanding through wisdom, through analysis. There's existence of Buddha nature in myself or in us. So that is our first attempt. Once we have that conviction, then we will gain sense of security, gain sense of hope that freedom from suffering is possible, because the suffering caused by delusions, affliction, emotions, and the actualizing of Buddha nature is very much through the elimination of the afflicting emotions. So you will gain kind of confidence that the liberation from the suffering and the delusion is possible. So that is the second attempt. Then the third attempt is to develop that, to develop that understanding. through trainings, through engaging in the practices, and the practices are none other than purifying the defilements, purifying the negative emotions, ifriti emotions, and increasing the virtuous mind, strengthening the virtuous mind, strengthening and increasing the wisdom. So the gradual the gradual decreasement of affliction and increasement of wisdom, let us get nearer to get awakened in Buddha nature. So the ultimate objective is to ourselves awaken in Buddha nature, that Buddha nature already exists in us, to get awakened in that. Now it's obscured. It's there, but it's obscured. So when we awaken in Buddha nature, then that's the time we become Buddha. The moment you awaken in Buddha nature, is that simultaneously you become Buddha, simultaneously you become omniscient, simultaneously you achieve the ultimate, the highest state of liberation, the Buddhahood. You see, so just the whole purpose of Buddha Dharma is to actualize the awakened stage of Buddha nature, which is within. And what things not allowing us to do that is due to the ignorant mind, and due to the total control of the rest of the inferior emotions. So until we tend to forget our absolute nature, which is Buddha nature, we tend to forget that even there's an existence of Buddha nature within us. And how often we think that we have Buddha nature, honestly speaking, but we have a lot of awareness that, I'm an angry person, I'm jealous person, I have this problem, I have that problem, I have this negative emotion. We have a lot of awareness of the existence of negative emotion, but we have a limited awareness of that, in fact, that we have those qualities such like Buddha nature within us. You see, so at least the first attempt is to give ourselves, to the conviction of that we truly have Buddha nature. Then from there, I think there will be a lot of, there will be our awareness will be, will pursue, the ultimate objective of knowing there's a Buddha nature, and which is, being mindful and virtuous, and guarding our mind from the intrusion of negative emotions. And that itself already very liberating in ourselves, every day-to-day life, because it guards our mind, the intrusion of negative emotion, already protect ourselves not to suffer. You see, so like that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was actually wondering how I want to say this, so you bring up the perfect questions, so I get a chance to say what I needed to say. So as for Buddha nature, we are quite clear, isn't it? There are a few attempts. Yeah. I think maybe the last session was not so clear about that. Once we know the few steps, the kind of discovery of Buddha nature, I think help us to at least summarize, the purpose of maybe this course. Okay, so then So, when we meditate, then when we meditate, then we start to, let ourselves look deeper into our state of mind. So without using, mind of meditation, mind of, sincere awareness, then just using a normal gross mind, I think we may not able to, understand the varieties of mind that exist within ourselves. Even though we may think that we have a lot of abundant or unnecessary mind, but we may not have a recognition of, in fact, there are abundance of good mind, also abundance of wisdom mind also exists already there. The only thing is we just need to recognize it and utilize it. Use as our day-to-day mental state. You see, such as the compassion is an innate quality of us. Compassion is not something that we need to develop, something which we never had that compassion in our heart. We never had the seed of compassion in our heart. The compassion is actually already with us. Ever since the existence of ourself. You see. So, but then here we kind of feel so difficult to adopt the idea of the compassion need to be part of our mental attitude. It's as if it's something that you really need to put extraordinary effort to kind of get from somewhere else, which you are not familiar at all. And that idea already kind of we are put off of developing compassion, because we already think that it is something not familiar with us. So in fact, compassion is one of most familiar mind, most familiar attitude of ourselves. You see, our nature of mind is, again, one of the nature of mind is compassionate nature. One of nature of mind is peaceful nature. You see, our nature of mind is in fact not the angry mind. You see, not the grasping mind, not the egoistic mind. You see, but then we used to believe, in fact, anger is kind of part of my mind, and you see. So because of we accepted that anger is so close to ourselves, that's why anger is so easy to arise. Because of accepted ego, self-centered, egoistic mind is very part of my nature. Because of that, the self-centered egoistic is always in awareness, always arises in our mind, because we keep them so close with us. And compassion, bodhicitta, right views are like very far in the distant. You see, so that is the tricky of our mind. You see? Yes. Please.
Just one sec. This might be a really silly question, but I'm just wondering the difference between seeing something that you think is not right and feeling really strongly about wanting to do something about it versus is that then wisdom rather than... So when is it anger? Is it when you want to harm someone? When you're trying to kind of create a positive change?
I think anger is again many different degrees. Just a sense of uneasiness in your mind, uneasiness that how to say. So you can say like this: sense of impatientness in your heart. It could be in any situation, and that is also anger. So anger is not something that you really need to burst out with wrong words, scolding words, and or physically punching someone. That is already quite a serious extent. Yeah. So it's just a mind of impatientness itself is in fact is anger. Because this could be understood because the opposite mind of anger is patient. So from here, I'm trying to explain from here. You see, so the impatientness. So there are many degrees of impatientness. So as long as the impatient is in fact is a degree of anger, and it has the potential of destroying the peace, destroying the merits, and causing harm to self, causing harm to others. So again, this anger, when we want to explain based on the creation of karma, the karma of anger, then again we can explain the complete karma of anger and incomplete karma of anger. It's anger, but it's not necessarily complete fruitional karma of anger. Because in order to commit the karma, you need to have the four factors, have to involve. You see, some of the impatientness arises without any intentional reason. And sometimes the impatientness arises without any awareness of the object to be impatient. It just comes in. You see, so. But the result, whether it can be the complete karma committed by a complete anger, the result is by that or not. Anyway, any result of impatientness is suffering. It's painful, and it is harmful. Again, it's a degree. How harmful degree to yourself and or others. How heavy extent harm is again depend on the degree of the level of impatientness. Yeah. So you see. So this. So there is So it's necessary to have this state of meditation of mind all the time accompanying with us in every thoughts, in every actions, because otherwise, like anger, we only kind of try to reject when when the anger comes to the highest extent, but then the minor impatientness we usually maybe don't even bother, you see. And in fact, not bothering of the minor impatientness actually the main cause to lead to the complete explosion of the great anger, you see. So the mindfulness, the meditation here can refer to the mindfulness and introspection, that which always need to train ourselves to always accompany this true mind with us, mind of mindfulness and introspection. Is mind of introspection, you always assign, as a main gatekeeper, gate guard. Then the mind of mindfulness is always assigned as the inner door, your inner doorkeeper, inner door protection. You see, so even this, to bring into what you call the practical practice, we need to do some kind of habituation in our mind. Or we need to tell ourselves again and again that I must have this mind of mindfulness and mind of introspection. Always stay vigilant and guarding my mind. You see. So as far as we are we know that we assign true mindfulness as a guard to our mind, then among mindfulness and introspection, they will have their own agreements. They will have their own mutual agreements. You see, so the introspection since it's the main what you call the gate guard. Then if there's any possibility of thief of afflicting emotions about to enter your garden, will try his best to protect from the main gate already. But at the same time, simultaneously will use the intercom to call the inner guard of mindfulness. That, you be careful, because there's some tendency, it's going around. Thief tendency going around, so be careful. So the mindfulness naturally take the full kind of alertness, because mindfulness also can go to sleep. You see, so the mindfulness has to be always kind of alerted by introspection to be full alert. You see, so as long as these two the guards are there, then it's quite impossible to intrusion of the thieves of afflicting emotions in our day-to-day time, in our day-to-day moments, and that is best security to secure, peace and happiness. This is very, very powerful, way to secure, at least remain in neutral, not in suffering. You see. So, because the moment any negative emotion intrudes, that's it. Not only stir up the peace right there, but it will lead into many other complications. You see. So why not, at least put some effort to pay extra, what you call wages. Can you say wages?
Yeah.
Extra pay to these two guards. If you needed to pay a bit extra, it's worthwhile to pay extra. So the paying extra wages is doing, some dedicated time to do meditation, habituation, meditation of assigning mindfulness and awareness into your heart, because that also needs some training. Otherwise, just simply order without any agreement. It won't take full responsibility. Mindfulness and introspection won't take full responsibility. They will say, okay, I will, but then, when you are distracted somewhere else, gone, they are gone. Then the anger already intruded in, grasping intruded in. Then so many other negative emotions are intruded in. Once it's already intruded, and so difficult, at least will make sure they will steal something. The negative emotions, once they intrude, they will never go empty-handed back. They will make sure we'll steal, peace or virtues. Peace and happiness and virtues, or at least they will steal, but at the same time they will mess you up. They will mess up, So if you want to rent your brain or your mind to someone, then I think it's better rent to mindfulness and introspection, even they don't pay much rent. Just recently in Blue Mountain, one of our friend rented a house to someone, and they are fraud because the landlord went to India. So then these people come to rent the house through their friends, and there are quite a number of people who want to rent their house. But among all, the person, the middleman, judge based on how nice the person wear the clothes, and how nice the car they drive, and how well they speak. And the people who rent this house now, who totally mess up, is the one that wearing the best, driving the better car than the rest of the others, and talk very nice, and all the talks are lies, and all the what they have, I think, is just to loot you. You see. So and once so then the family come back and they want to read them because they are not paying the rent. And at the same time, now the actual owner of the house become homeless. You know, they have a home, but they don't have. They cannot go in. But then, and these people is so daring that they don't want to leave. They don't want to leave, and until they have to call police. They have to go to the court. And when they went to the court, amazing. When they went to the court, on the same day, there are few people fighting for the same people. And this is the same people who rented the house. The previous one also got to the same trouble. And they are hoping these people will appear in the court, but they never appear. And I think in our Australian law also, one way it looks like very compassionate law, is one to protect those vulnerable ones. But in another way, honestly speaking, they can do so bad things, but actually there's nothing to kind of protect, So it's quite interesting. So then, so they have to apply this police. I think they call what particular name. There's one particular. Not all police. There's one particular police ranking have to come and literally have to change the lock and let them leave. And of course, they are so professional doing this. They live until to the day that police come, and just before police came, they already left. But before they left, they mess up the entire house. They didn't pay rent. Not only that, they break things. They totally mess up, and they steal things. They steal their things and totally, and they don't want to give any contact. They just disappear like that. So in the center, I wanted to do a workshop of creating garden of reflection with many quotations and like that. So based on this story, one quotation came in my mind. Is that never rent. Now I also forgot. I think it's somewhere here. Where is it? Okay, anyway.
We're looking before.
So you see, so like that. No mindfulness. It's basically saying that, never rent your hat. I think it's something like that. Never rent your hat to the negative emotions. It will not only pay the rent, but it will mess up your mind. Rather rent to basically. So now you see. It sounds like quite nice, but now it doesn't sound nice. And the family came to the workshop. So I show this quotation to them. It was a shock like that. So basically, it is like exactly like similar thing like this. We are kind of always letting our mind, our awareness to be occupied, by negative emotions. You see, So if we allow it, then yes, it's a similar case like this landowner. You only get the worst result. But if you let your mind to occupy by the virtues, and not only sustain virtues and peace in your heart, but on top of that, consistently there's an accumulation of the new virtues. It's almost like paying rent. It's always accumulate new virtues. So that also we need to make a kind of like a very firm decision through our meditation that then the job to maintain what you have made a decision, what kind of mind that you want to cultivate, and it has to be looked after by someone. So that is the mind of mindfulness and mind of introspection, which is one of the most important tool for this, to succeeding in the practice of meditation, to succeeding in the practice of practices in the virtues or in dharma. You see, so like that. So if we are not really well trained into that, then we have to find time, every day to day, at least for 2-3 minutes. That, especially in the morning before you start your journey, start your work, that you at least refresh your mind. That I assign mindfulness and introspection as a door guard of my mind. So in that way, then whenever there's the situation that meet which trigger to arising of negative emotion, then the introspection itself become an antidote for that. And if introspection unable to handle that, then the mindfulness and introspection will combine this mental wisdom, to be the antidote to directly, eliminate, directly eliminate, directly eliminate that, before even intruding into one's mind. You see, so and even the past negative emotions imprint in our heart, also will not let arise, will not let arise in the obvious nature, by the antidote of mindfulness and introspection. So because of that, the longer the mindfulness and introspections are lively in our mental attitude, then even though very heavy negative imprints of the past, start to kind of decrease their power. Gradually it will come to a total cease. Because the negative emotions, if you let it arise one time, it increases their power. If one moment you don't allow them to express it, it have to decrease their power. You see, so the mindfulness and introspection is really can play one of the most important role, all through the training in the path, from the beginning and until to the actualizing the state of the result of the path, which is liberation or enlightenment. Or even during the training in the path, even the small stage of liberation, will attain swiftly and effectively if our mindfulness and awareness are always, vigilant in our mind. You see, so in that case, then we are always in meditation, and the actual, one of the teachings of the Buddha is that we cannot separate, learning, contemplation, and meditation. We have to combine, these three things together for the effectiveness of gaining the result of the practice. You see, so the meditation, the mindfulness introspection can play a role of meditation to your learning, to your contemplation, or to your day-to-day life engagement in the virtues, like that. So you see, so if one able to set altruistic motivation in the morning before one start the day, then after setting that motivation, then the responsibility you assign to mindfulness introspection to make sure that your entire day's activities, function accordingly with that motivation, and that checking, that checking will be done by mindfulness and introspection. You see, and mindfulness and introspection, it is just one primary mind, one portion of mind only. It is not the whole mind. So one portion of awareness only is not the whole mind. So therefore, it is not difficult, to have a mindfulness and awareness always in vigilant while we are engaging in other activities. You see, so it's not a difficult thing. You see, the only thing is that we need to assign. Until now, I think we haven't assigned the job. So with that mindfulness and introspection, the awareness of mindfulness and introspection as a guard in your heart, you can eat, you can talk, you can do business deals, you can drive, you can, it will not affect any of your concentration. Otherwise you may think that while I'm driving, if I portion of my mind assigned as mindfulness and introspection, I may get into accident. I may lose full focus on the driving. No, because of having mindfulness and introspection, your concentration on driving will be even more focused. Because the job of mindfulness and introspection is make sure that you don't get into trouble, isn't it? If you hit someone because of your restless driving, you commit the karma. And mindfulness and introspection will always remind you, don't drive restlessly. Or if you just kind of wandering in your thought while driving something else, the mindfulness introspection will immediately kind of alert you, hey, be mindful, otherwise it will cause of others' life, or otherwise at least may cause of your life, or be focused, you see. So that's how the mindfulness introspection help, you see. And before talking, always the mindfulness introspection will kind of guide you, make sure that what you want to say is, really beneficial, really kind, really necessary, then the mindfulness introspection will kind of like, if it's beneficial, if it's necessary, then it will even kind of help you to express properly. You see, if it's not beneficial, it will say no. Because why? It will commit karma, and if you commit karma, then it is harmful for you and harmful for others. So therefore, the mindfulness introspection perfectly protected your three doors from committing negativities. You see, so like that. Yeah. Any question? Yes. Okay. Go to you first.
Thank you, Geshe Zopa, for your explanation. I was just wondering if you could explain what the difference between introspection and mindfulness is.
Okay. So the introspection is the mind that which being very vigilant in different characteristic in the manner of in the manner of analysis. You know, the introspection is like always kind of what you call checking whether it is right or wrong, whether it's negative or virtue. You know, it's very alert and inspective mind. Mindfulness is whatever the introspection, you know, the what you call the approve job, approve object of focus that deliver to the mind. The mindfulness just dedicating, you know, single pointedly focusing to full focus. So that is mindfulness. So basically one is very busybody one, and another one is very focused one. You know, focus to because the checking is already done by mindfulness, introspection. So mindfulness is just to hold on that. So like that. So if the introspection says something is wrong, the mindfulness will just simply will kind of say, okay, wrong, and make sure never allow it. If the introspection says this is very good, the mindfulness will even how much you say no also will push you in. So like that, hold you like that. Is it okay? Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to apologize because I was certain I switched off my telephone and there was a small noise during your speech, and I just switched on correctly now.
Oh, what is that?
My telephone made a noise. I've forgotten to switch it off. I just wanted to apologize.
Oh, no.
Sorry, it's not intentional.
Maybe it could be beneficial to wake up a few people for falling asleep.
I had 5 questions when I was driving here, but you answered them in the first half an hour of the lecture.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay. Any other questions? Sure.
Geshe Zopa, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
It's a blessing. Could you give us a little bit of GPS tips or help to find the right intention? Quite often when we ask ourselves, okay, what's the intention behind this action? Why do I want to do this? As you said, sometimes we can have an intention or an answer that is not really virtuous. So do you have any tips, as you're always so down to earth and realistic, and it's so helpful the way you talk to us? Any way that we can ask and inquire the mind to find the real intention? Is this really virtuous? Is this really for the benefit of others? And just look at that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think this, even though the purpose of the action is, if you can able to contribute to the purpose of enlightenment, then is of course that's the best. Enlightenment for self and enlightenment for others. Whatever action you engage, like just even a simple action like preparing a meal for the family. If you just intention is that, may this cooking, able to please my rest of the family and bring a lot of nutrition to them, and may this be the cause for them to, may this be the initial cause for them to establish the seed of liberation in their heart by the bliss of enjoying my meal, like that, So, I'm answering this based on, in the teachings that when the divine beings or the holy beings, when they make generosity, like material generosity, then they say, may this material generosity satisfy you, whatever is the need, but then may this be the cause, may this establish the cause of liberation in your heart by fulfilling from this, from this material generosity. So, if someone who have conviction in enlightenment and who have who understand the benefit of altruism, benefit of great compassion, and definite of enlightenment in every single sentient being. Then, just like everything that you are referring to, the creating cause for ultimate enlightenment of self and rest of the others, and that is the best virtuous motivation, and that's the best intention that you can ever do in any action you do. Like one simple motivation every morning. I think I shared this before. I don't know how to do big motivation, altruistic motivation, but it's one simple thing which I can is that may whoever see me, may whoever see me, may whoever think of me, remember my name, see my picture, or relate to me in any ways, in a very kind way or very mean way. Even someone decided to cause my life and come and kill me. May every single relation to others be the initial cause to establish the seed of liberation in them. So it's very simple, very easy, but if you express sincerely from the depth of your heart, then every aspect, every phase of a day, you feel so meaningful. When you go to a coffee shop, you sit there because people seeing you, people talking to you, and some people even don't really like you, you're showing very uneasy face, but in your motivation is even they scold you, even they treat you badly, even they come and kill you, may that be the initial cause to establish the seed of liberation in them. Sometimes when you go in a very busy crowd, and people just simply bang you here and there, that one of the things may, like even people touch you, may just that, they plant the seed of liberation in them like that. You see, so it takes very short time, and it is not a difficult thing. It is something very ordinary person can really do, and you can afford to do that. And anyway you need to talk to people. Anyway, you relate your life with others. So really, it brings a lot of meaning in life. You feel at the end of the day, you come to a point that your day is not wasted. Maybe whole day you're just not doing anything, but then at least some people may thinking about you, and your life is still being beneficial. You see, and someday maybe you are not really doing prayers or engaging in service, servicing others, but simply walk around in the shopping mall, just like a crazy man go around. But then you never feel that you wasted your time, and you get chance to, like when I go to different centers, if I have an opportunity, and sometimes maybe just even there's a Maggi mee, and just make the Maggi mee and say, okay, come and eat, or if there's there's a facility and there's a sangha, I just prepare. The reason is, just whatever way, whether it's lay, sangha, or kid, or anybody, just what you call it just costs, the cause of full enlightenment in them. If they're already enlightened, then it will cause me to enlighten. If they already have the seed of liberation already in the high state, then it will return back to me, for me to awaken in that. You see, so just find very very meaningful, and like when you go around, you just smile, I mean, don't go like this. Why go like very sad, like that. So just at least just go, you're okay. And how to say? Of course, if you go sad, but through your motivation, yes, there's some benefit. But how wonderful with that motivation, then your body, speech, and mind even be, realistically be more beneficial in whatever best that you could. If there's opportunity comes for you to say the right thing, a nice thing, and say it. If opportunity don't come, but it's still beneficial, you see. And physically, if you needed to help somebody, then you do it. If not, then it's still beneficial, it's still all right. But if you can't, then it's bonus, you see. So like that. So this is very, very ordinary, very beginner, very no level of practice also can do. Like I can do, anybody can do, and it really helps me so much in my day-to-day. Every time you go to end the day, you go with so much joy and so much happiness because you feel your day been so fruitful. Like that. Then at the same time, it makes you to be natural in everything. You don't have to pretend to be meditating. You don't have to allocate specific time to go to meditate. You just be yourself. You do what you like. But by the power of that motivation, it helps you to not to do wrong thing. Of course, we also need to assign the mindfulness introspection, yeah? With just motivation alone, sometimes you forget. But if you, even with the assistance of mindfulness introspection, with that kind of motivation, then whatever you like to do, there's a benefit. So like that. So that's, I think, this very simplest way. Then the other one is everything is for the ultimate enlightened purpose. Taking care of someone, cooking, working in company, driving, and every single action, we have to come to a point that can able to turn into Dharma. And so like that. Even someone who is having a wrong livelihood, even before meeting Dharma, is already a butcher. Then even that butcher, because it's a livelihood, that's the only way to survive. In fact, that's not the only way to survive. You can survive definitely, giving a butcher. But if there's a situation that's the only way that he is supposed to do, he's allowed to do, by some kind of law or by some kind of restriction in the family, whatever. But then by meeting the Dharma and through intention, he can purify and he can find way to at least while accumulating abundance of the activity, but also can accumulate some merit, some virtues. So there's always a way to anybody can practice in any circumstances, basically, as long as we have this right intention. Yeah. Thank you. Hope I answer. Okay, thank you. Okay, now we don't have much time. So any more question? That's very good. Yeah. So you see now so that we know roughly about the different characteristics of ignorant. So then the second one is from the six root delusion. Second one is the attachment. So attachment also refers a desire, and again desire, attachment and the desire can be afflicted and can be non-afflicted. I think again there are fine lines for that. Like you desire to, achieve full enlightenment for the benefit of numberless sentient beings, and that is virtuous. You have a sense of affectionate, attached, how to say? So this one I don't know. Attachment, the chap. So I think attachment. I think only afflicted. I don't know. We can still discuss attachment because. Okay, so this afternoon, maybe one of the discussion topic, can be this, whether attachment can be virtuous. There's a virtuous attachment or non-virtuous, or it has to be totally afflicted attachment. Because the desire, can clearly can see two types. It depends on the intention and objective, the ultimate objective, the express of the desire that make differences whether it's afflicted or not afflicted. And but then there is a saying that taking attachment, taking attachment into a path. So I think that is very much due to the intention, and also there's a technique to transform into a path. But then in the common perspective, then the attachment I think is only is affliction. So anyway, that can be discussed, can bring more ideas to really identify. Maybe there may be a fine line of two. One is virtue, one is non-virtue. But in general, the attachment and desire is regarded as not only delusion, but it's a root delusion. So definition, not wanting to be separated from someone or something, grasping at aggregates in self-existence, causing rebirth, causing suffering of existence. So grasping to the wrong view, grasping to the worldly concern, all our desire and all our attachment, and grasping to the wrong object. Like object is, even though it's not naturally is attractive, but then by the influence of the desirous attitude, you interpret as attractiveness, interpret as the object of attachment. So because of that, then we desire to beautiful, which is not innately not beautiful. Desire and attach to a lasting, which is innately is not lasting. Grasping to situation that which is impermanent, but then grasp as a permanent. And due to that, it causes a lot of suffering, and it causes a lot of negative karma. So like that. Then anger, as we discussed before, many degree of anger there. So wanting to be separated from someone or something can lead to a relentless desire to hurt others or cause unhappiness. So attachment and anger is very much like the separate directed mind, I would say. One is aversion, one is attachment, and anger is very much, rooted. I heard in Australia I cannot use this word, rooted. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I don't know exactly what, but they don't say rooted in Australia. Okay. So the attachment is very much rooted anger is attached. Anger is very much rooted by attachment, rooted very much desire. Because of the having the mind of the attachment, and therefore then the aversion comes. So in the obvious level, yes, the anger sounds like is more hurtful, but then in fact in the subtle level the attachment is even more scary, more negative, like that. So but then at the same time, like in the Buddhist Untitled Chapter says, there's no greater negativities than anger. There's no greater affliction than anger. It's because of the direct the impact of the arising of anger that can bring due to that is further. But in fact, if you don't have attachment, then there's no anger. So anger is very much come out of because of having the attachment. Then okay, so we stop here. So thank you. So no need to do prayers. It's okay. So we can do it at the last session. Yeah. Thank you, and have a good lunch break. Sorry. One of the discussion topic you can also. I think this today's discussion, maybe you can discuss about nature. The ignorant nature of the characteristic of ignorance, characteristic of attachment, characteristic of anger. Then what are the antidotes that can apply, and then of course then the rest of the other area that you wish to clarify, then the discussion will definitely helps to do that. And from the discussion, if you have any questions, then you can write down. Then we can do a lot of question answer at the end.